Very first map of this best of 3 series is going to be played out on the one and only in the Grand Arena. We'll be right back, guys. Shout out to Little Swaggy. Thank you so much for that subscription, brother. Alright guys, welcome to the very first game of this best of 3 series. Our Monk Sucks running Vellido, Omnivore, and Adellah going up against Hikari, Dillypoo, and Shwayze. And it's nice to see some Discipline Priest representation in GCD, I must say. Here we go.
Did you say an extra G there? I think you did.
Did I? GCDGG? Probably. You know, I wouldn't doubt it, to be quite honest with you. Acronyms aren't.
We're not going to hold it against you.
Okay, maybe.
Shwayze going to be pre-powered shielding his whole team. They do get offensive here onto Vellido, getting pounced on by Hikari. Shwayze already stacking shields on himself. He's get the feather right now, trying to make a play maybe onto Adellah. Sprinting up here to the opposing pillar. Bash landed onto Adellah. Safeguard actually coming out there. Full trap is going to land. Not sure he did. I think he managed to intervene the Wyvern Sting. Not 100% sure about that, but the trap's going to land nonetheless. Vellido down at 50% HP. He's going to use the AMS. The full fear landed immediately. Going to be nibbled out by Adellah here, trying to heal through here without using the life cocoon. A DR maim stun coming out from Hikari. Now the swap over to Shwayze into the full asphyxiate, recklessness blade storm, as well as pillar of frost into the DR leg sweep. He did steal pain suppression. He's going to throw that up onto himself and keep the pressure rolling onto Shwayze here. Hikari popping the incarnation at the same time, but that got countered really well by that stolen pain suppression. Paralyzed onto Shwayze. Hikari at 50%, double charge stun coming out from Omnivore. The Colossus smash onto Hikari. He's being pretty greedy right now with his shield walls. Not going to be responding to this just yet. Omnivore tricketing there offensively. Full bleeds are up onto Adellah as they tried to make a swap over to him. It's not accomplishing too much. He still has the life cocoon available. He does cheat torpedo, unfortunately, to the center of the map. He's going to have to portal very soon, but he's going to portal right onto Shwayze, who's waiting on it to fear him. He gets silenced with the murder of crows, dipping low here. He's going to get the life cocoon off, dodging that kill, or actually, he's playing survival. There is no kill shots, but keeping himself alive for the time being. It was overlapped, however, with the rallying cry.
Yes, and they're trying to get a lot of pressure onto Adellah. Adellah no longer has his cocoon, so he can be he's in a lot of danger for the swap here. He still does have trinket, so he'll be fine. He'll probably be fine. But Hikari going into the cyclone here, which was probably stolen by Vellido, and Dillypoo into the full leg sweep here. They're trying to swap the damage over to Shwayze. Shwayze's taking a bit of damage from the cleave here, but he's trying to kite away. Hikari not tossing out the mini cyclones here. He is coming back to pill for his priest. They're on Adellah at the moment. Adellah, it's actually just Dillypoo on Adellah at the moment. Omnivore into the full clone there. Vellido into the full root. Shwayze just trying to dip away and kite away from these two melee at the moment, but his Pharaoh doing a very good job pilling for him at the moment, and Adellah taking some damage here. The full fear comes out onto all, the triple fear comes out to all three of this turbo TSG, and Adellah just torpedoing away, and he's manateeing back here. It looks like he'll be fine. His mana cocoon coming up soon, and Shwayze's taking a bit of damage.
Yeah, sorry for his up. Saving Grace already at 3 stacks. His healing's not going to do a lot. He needs to be able to kite for a few more seconds. Hikari getting swapped to in the meantime. It's going to fade, but Adellah at the same time at 40% is going to revival to get that trap. Unfortunately, Omnivore caught into a Wyvern Sting now. Adellah desperately trying to kite here. Murder of Crows coming up in 28 seconds. He doesn't want to have to use that life cocoon prior to it. He's still trying to line of sight. 50% HP. Shwayze's mana as well as Adellah's both dipping low here, going for some manatees. Full asphyxiate onto Shwayze here, trying to take him down very quickly. 50% HP remaining. He's got pain suppression available. He's just choosing not to use it. That's just staring this cleave in the face, saying, nope, not going to get me. Double fear lands, though, on Hikari as well as Dillypoo. The pressure still coming out from Vellido here. Shwayze's mana getting taxed even harder. A full trap onto Omnivore's trinket. Adellah not able to get it just yet. Throwing paralyzed on Hikari. Fear going to land. Murder of Crows comes out with a silence onto Adellah here. Both healers feeling the heat. Life cocoon going to be used to answer that Murder of Crows immediately. A cyclone on the Omnivore out from Hikari, peeling for Shwayze for the time being. He still has the pain suppression available. He's trying to save it as long as he can, hopefully for that next stun combination. Recklessness being blown here. Shockwave going to connect on 2. Pain suppression gets used. Vellido, I believe, stole the pain suppression again, throwing the DR to 68 now onto Shwayze. He's going to have that available for Adellah here shortly, possibly on the next stun. Rotation, pain suppression thrown out onto Adellah now. Shwayze almost completely tapped the mana into the DR leg sweep at 30%. Has to trinket it using the feathers, trying to kite into a charge stun. However, Pillar of Frost is up. He's line of sighting Vellido pretty well right now. Finally, Vellido Vellido going to connect back here. Shwayze with not much left in the tank, has to survive for quite some time here. Adëllah getting trapped. Might have eaten it for his team there. He's going to activate the shield wall, trying to keep his team offensive here. A double fear going to land onto the DPS. Unfortunately, he's sitting through that. Icebound Fortitude forced onto Vellido in the meantime. Adëllah going to paralyze Shwayze here on his penance, trying to give his team a little bit more time to catch up and kill him because he's down to 6% mana. Vellido in the meantime, Murder Crows is going to get tossed up onto him. He's going to trinket, activate the AMS. Adëllah desperately spamming out the Soothing Mist. The drink is going to get stopped, I believe, by the... It's not in range. He got 30% mana, so he might just be back in this game.
Yeah, and Vellido and Omnivore trying to get a lot of pressure out on Shwayze, but he's doing a really good job kiting him around. And the pills from Hikari are also helping him out a bunch. Adëllah fully tapped on mana here, and it looks like he's going to be in a lot of trouble. The DR trap does come out, but if he does get swapped to here and he isn't able to get away from this jungle cleave, he's going to be in big trouble. 20% for Vellido. He does use his anti-magic cell, and he also gets bubbled by Adëllah, but Adëllah goes into the full bash. Dillypoo and Hikari tossing out a lot of damage here. Adëllah no longer has his bubble. He does have a trinket, but he's sitting through this fair. Vellido at 55%, taking a lot of damage from this jungle cleave. He's going to be in a lot of trouble as Adëllah is losing a lot of mana. He's only at 6% mana here. He does need to mana tap somehow, some way, but the full trap coming out. He does have trinket. He's sitting on the trinket though. The DR whipping onto Omnivore, and Omnivore trying to put a lot of pressure on Hikari, but Shwayze doing a really good job keeping his teammates up and trying to preserve his mana a bit because it is dipping a little bit low. Vellido at 56% here. Adëllah also dipping here. Hikari at 59%. Dillypoo goes into the full life sweep. The 35% on Hikari here. Shwayze trying desperately to keep his Pharaoh up, but the damage from his from this TSG is just too much. Adëllah fully tapped on mana. He does have to trinket that trap there. Vellido at 65%. The full fair onto Adëllah. He has no nimble for that, and Vellido's in big trouble here. But Hikari and Dillypoo getting cleaved here a lot, and it looks like Shwayze is going to be able to top them all.
You're swapping over to Adëllah right now. Penance is coming in. Hikari's dipping low, dampening now at 60%, or 6%, sorry. Double Shockwave gonna land. It could be the game. Execute connects. Recklessness and Pillar of Frost. Too much for little Shwayze to deal with, running on no mana. And our Monk Suck's gonna be taking the first game in this best of 3.
Wow. Yeah, what a crazy really swap, man.
For some reason, I couldn't see Shwayze's interface. I didn't know.
Yeah, he was at about 3% mana at the very end there. Hikari dipping lower and lower at the very end, and Shwayze just didn't have the mana to deal with this crazy amount of damage coming out. Hikari was in human form actually when he actually went down there, which is a big deal. You do lose quite a bit of static defense when you get caught in human form like that. That was a big reason to why he went down there. But this is a best of 3 series, and DGD is still in it. I'm gonna go ahead and ask them what map they want next.
If Shwayze's interface isn't popping up, what do I have to do? Do I have to like Alt-Z and reload UI?
Hit escape so you can see your interface again, and then type /reload.
Oh, okay. I was doing reload UI, which is the wrong one. So it's really rough to do when you miss in the hill. It's like no.
Sometimes like it doesn't work right away, so you have to do it. You have to do it a few times.
Okay.
So our Monk Sucks is going to be continuing to play the same composition. They're going to stick with that DK Warrior Mistweaver Monk, because I don't think they actually have another composition available to them. But they're going to bring the map to Dalaran Sewers. All right. All right, guys, we're going to be jumping into the second game of this best of 3 series. And this has been intense so far, I must say. Both of these teams looking quite good. I like seeing the Discipline Priest. I hope they do well, but at the same time, we have a Mistweaver Monk that I feel like is just as unrepresented. So it's like the battle of the two rare healers. It's very interesting.
It's hard to say that without sounding mean.
I know. I tried my very best, man. Alright. So we're going to be jumping into Dalaran Sewers here. It looks like both teams are actually going to be opting to stick with their same compositions. Alright, here we go. I'll see you guys in one hot minute.
It seemed like the side of DGD non mispronounced. Yeah. Hard to say letters. Words are much easier.
Alright.
We're caught between two different strategies. They want to go for Vellido, then they want to go for Adellah. I feel like if they're going to go for either, they need to commit to it, or there's just going to be cooldowns rotated over and over, and you're never going to get through that cooldown barrier, and the TSG ends up winning later in the stage of the game because they're just innately more tanky and more self-sustained than on the side of DGD. So we're going to see if they decide to commit to one target or not. But it's going to be on Dalaran Arena nonetheless. DGD fighting to stay in the winner's bracket here. Can they pull it back? Armonk Sucks leading 1-0. And already the D&D is getting thrown down here. Charge onto Dillypoo. Shwayze pre-shielding himself, getting ready for that swap. And the TSG is actually going to leave.
I'm not sure what's going on. I'm going to go ahead and get in contact with the team and see what's going on. That was well before 45 seconds. No! No! No technical difficulties, please!
No more.
Please! Stream! Give him your energy, quick! Please! Give Armonk Sucks your energy, man. Alright, it was just an add-on. It's just an add-on. Everyone calm down. Everyone calm down. We're good. Alright, so while we have a little bit of downtime, I am going to take this opportunity to shout out all of the new subscribers. So right away, shout out to Metaphor Underbog, Veterans, Juther83, Dota Notes TKO, thank you Dota, Sky Guy 248, I recognize that name, you've been in chat quite a bit, Sky Guy, MP Statan, For the Thrall, if you don't know who that is, he is one of the biggest GCD TV supporters. Shout out to For the Thrall. Always hanging out in chat. Sanokus? Thank you so much, Sanokus, and welcome to the GCD family. And Drowski. Shout out to Dowski, the 1v2 Destro Dream. He's the new Dream. He's the Destro Dream. If you're unfamiliar with him, go and follow his stream. He's always streaming Destro Warlock PvP, and that is a rarity nowadays. And also, another shout out to Little Swaggy. Welcome to the GCD family. Thank you guys so much for the new subscriptions and the support. We also did get a $5 donation from Ripdog as well. Thank you so much, Ripdog. And he did not leave a note, so he just wants to support us because he's a hero. And that's who Ripdog is. That's the kind of guy Ripdog is. Alright, looks like both teams are ready. And we are going to queue up. So currently it is 0-1 in favor of Armonk Sucks. And the next map is going to be on Dalaran Sewers. Here we go. I'm going to put you guys through the intro again. Please eat my spiders. You guys! Champ! Alright everybody, welcome to Dalaran Sewers. Armonk Stuff's going up against DGD. The Jungle Cleave with the Discipline Priest going up against the TSG with the Mistweaver Monk. It's going to be intense, man. It's a good series so far. It definitely could go either way. I'm excited to see what happens.
Oh, man.
Yep, Dillypoo in chat feeling pretty confident, saying that they just didn't play up to par. So let's see if that is proven true here in Dalaran Arena, the second match of the series. Currently 1-0 lead for Armonk Sucks. Hopefully no technical problems pursuing through this. Adellah has switched over to Gnome. I'm actually a little bit unsure if he's been playing Gnome the entire time. It's going to give him a little bit more mobility and slipperiness, as he is a little tiny gnome. He's harder to see. The Feral Druid already going to be bashing Adellah, looking to land a Wyvern or a trap. The Wyvern onto Omnivore. He does trinket that and Master Fleck the trap. Good play by Omnivore early on here. Now landing the Shockwave onto Hikari with an Asphyxiate onto Shwayze. Hikari feeling some pressure. He's going to use his survival instincts to tank through these big cooldowns and pop Incarnation himself to try and make a turnaround onto Adellah. He's going to simply portal to the center of the map in line of sight. The Murder of Crows was used there as well. Vellido is going to be able to get topped off. Adellah trying to line of sight. Still has to deal with the Skull Bash as well as counter shot out here shortly from Dillypoo, who is rooting Vellido up in the center of the map. Adellah going to be getting connected to here shortly. Shockwave going to land onto Hikari's Berserk, trying to reduce that incoming damage as Omnivore starts putting the pressure onto Shwayze. Vellido connecting as well. Adellah trying to cut away with these Chi torpedoes. He does manage to get out of the line of sight finally here. Fear going to land onto Hikari. He's actually going to choose to trinket that. Adellah getting caught up to. He's going to get knocked on his Soothing Mist here. The DGD trying to find their target. Vellido appears to be the target of choice. Death Pack still available as he's dipping fairly low here at 40%. Charge stun onto Hikari. A full fear landed onto Adellah, but an asphyxiate onto Shwayze, trying to steal that pain suppression. Shwayze holding on to it, not going to be donating that this time around here. Adellah caught into a Wyvern Sting now, into a root, out of line of sight, and he's not able to get the heals off. Murder of Crows comes out. Vellido's low HP. Adellah gets silenced. He had to trinket a 1-second silence to get the life cocoon up, and they're still cutting through it. 30% HP. They're just going to swap over to Adellah. Hikari gets gripped on his feral leap here. Adellah's going to be able to jump down and portal up here shortly. Does get knocked into the eye. He's going to nimble out of the stun as both people connect here. Chi torpedoes to the other side of the platform here. The pet's going to connect here. Trap on Omnivore. Vellido going to Lichborn out of the fear. Adellah getting connected to for the time being. Murder of Crows coming up in 30 seconds. The half bash going to come onto Adellah here. The pounce and full bleeds are up. Hikari caught into a leg sweep. However, well played by Adellah to try and keep these this hunter and feral off of himself. Chi torpedoes down to the side now. Asphyxiate onto Shwayze, trying to steal that pain suppression once again. Shwayze not giving it to him. Once again, Hikari at 50% now. Shwayze playing catch up. Adellah has recovered. Murder of Crows, though, up in 10 seconds.
Yes, and Adellah is in big trouble here. He doesn't have his life cocoon for about 20 seconds, 20-ish seconds. And Shwayze just sitting back, playing a little aggressive. Does life grip Dillypoo there. And Hikari putting out a lot of damage onto Adellah. Adellah just doing a really good job trying to kite away. The Murder Crows does come out, so he's going to be taking a lot of damage. The Soothe the Miss, he's Soothe the Missing back here, but his mana is dipping pretty low. He's at 33%. He's going to need to get some manatees soon. The Pain Suppress does come out onto Hikari. Dillypoo into the leg sweep here. Shwayze doing really much better on mana this game here. He's hitting at 76%. The full fit comes out onto Hikari. Adellah taking a lot of damage, but he looks like he'll be fine. He does get silenced there. He's manateeing during the silence. He's at 43% mana, but he's dipping here. He's might have to left cocoon soon. He does port upstairs and torpedoes to the other side of the map, which is a really good maneuver to use on this map here. Hikari and Dillypoo trying to get some damage out, but it doesn't seem. It looks like this TSG doesn't seem to. It just isn't able to get much damage out onto this jungle cleave, while this jungle cleave is putting so much pressure onto Adellah here. Adellah doing a really good job kiting, but his time is limited because the incarn is going to be up pretty soon, and it's going to be a big trouble for him. He's at 20% here, taking a lot of damage from this jungle cleave, trying to kite away. He kites upstairs. He does port away, and the Murder of Crows does come out onto him. Hikari doing a bunch of damage here, and Adellah does have to life cocoon there. The full fair onto Omni. He berserks out of that. The leg sweep onto Hikari. The asphyxiate onto Shwayze. They're trying to swap the damage onto him into a DR shockwave. The sap onto Hikari, but it looks like Shwayze is going to be fine for now.
Yep, Berserk is still up for Hikari right now. Shwayze, though, getting connected too hard. No pain suppression available at 50%. Trying to go for a penance here. He does fake cast the pummel, I believe. Double root going to land out from Dilly into a full cyclone out from Hikari. Shwayze should be able to top himself off here as Hikari reconnects onto Adellah, who doesn't have a lot of cooldowns available. He does get silenced here at 50% HP. The damage is rolling in. Wyvern Sting comes out from Dillypoo onto Omnivore. It's going to be DR'd. Adellah kiting for his life. Shwayze into a full stun. The Dark Sim up as well. Pain suppression not available, though, so a bit of a premature Dark Sim. They're not going to be able to steal. Oh my, what? He just got punted, and that's the first time I've seen a gnome get punted and die at the same time. That was actually the most hilarious death I've ever seen in WoW. Is seeing a little gnome get punted and die at the same time.
I want to see what happens. I saw Adellah taking
Can we just see
damage.
the gnome get punted again?
I think I caught it.
Just slowly died.
I think I caught it. Just keep an eye on Adellah. There's a silence going out on him as well. He's dipping down to 20% health. Your Omnivore and the Wyvern Sting can't peel for just a few more seconds here. Adellah's going to port back up, but he's still at low health, and Dillypoo's still on him. And you just see him get punted and died, and that's going to be a win for DGD. And all of a sudden, this jungle cleave is back in it, and we have a tied series, boys. Now, taking a quick look at this bracket, we are in round 2, so DGD going up against our Muksungs are in that winner's bracket, fighting for their spot in the semifinals. So this is going to be an intense one. Both of these teams really, really want it.
Even though Adellah had a pretty good kiting path on that map, they were still able to take him down. But they are going to be able to pick probably Blade's Edge Arena, which is going to be more well-suited for Adellah.
Yep, and I'm assuming Dillypoo is going to be playing his the same composition. Yeah, I'm not sure. To be honest with you, we're going to go ahead and shout out my buddy Vadrak for creating this add-on. Though I think there might be an update coming shortly. Thank you, Imiko0408. Thank you so much for that, man. Really do appreciate it. The next map that we're going to is Blades Edge Arena. Here we go. Alright guys, we're going to be jumping in here. Here we go. The last map.
Last map of the day. Serving it up the Blades Edge way.
Alright guys, I'll see you guys in just one hot minute. Alright, here we go guys. This is the very last round of this best of 3 series. We have our Monk Sucks going up against DGD. We have the Mistweaver TSG going up against the Disc Priest Jungle. 6 seconds remain. This is the map, or this is the match to decide who's going to the semifinals. That's going to happen tomorrow right here at GCD TV, number 15 at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. Here we go.
Already
yes, oh, that's alright, you can get it.
Already connecting with a double shockwave onto Dillypoo and Hikari. Hikari trying to go for a cyclone here, possibly onto Adëllah. He does get gripped back. Stampeding Roar lets him cover the distance very quickly. He's going to pop the Incarnation onto Adëllah, stuns him up with the Murder of Crows. He's going to Nimble Brew out of that immediately here down below on the pillar. Waiting for a better time to portal up here as the double shockwave lands once again. He does portal up top. Going to be able to heal through those cooldowns very well, only trading the shield wall. Still has his trinket as well as life cocoon available for the next swap.
Yeah, and Hikari taking a bunch of damage here. Shwayze tossing out the bubble onto him. Shwayze going into the full asphyxiate here. They're trying to get some damage out onto Hikari. The fear comes out, but I think they're actually trying to cleave down Shwayze here. Vellido taking a bunch of damage. Just had to get the life cocoon before the trap goes out onto Adëllah, and he's going to be in big trouble here because they're doing a bunch of this. Jungle Cleave's doing a bunch of damage. Omnivore also taking a bit of damage, but he's getting rooted up, doing very good pills on him right now. Adëllah trying to keep them up. He is at full mana, so he's going to be able to top them up for a little bit, but the full fear does come out. He doesn't nimble that, but it does break from the AoE damage, I guess. And Vellido at 62%, Hikari and Dillypoo trying to pop out some damage onto him, and looks like both teams will be fine.
Yeah, Murder of Crows is now available. Adëllah realizes that he's going to abandon ship, jump off the bridge here now, running back up top. Murder of Crows actually being used onto Vellido. Adëllah is going to answer that with his Aura Mastery. Wyvern Sting being thrown out there. I'm not sure onto who just yet. Adëllah was dotted up, so I believe it was a broken. Vellido getting rooted here. The trap landed onto Omnivore. Unfortunately, it's half duration. The Shockwave onto Hikari at 50%, but a full bash onto Adëllah. He's choosing to sit through this. 39%. He's going to Life Cocoon that to absorb all this incoming damage. But once again, Life Cocoon is not timed with the Murder of Crows, so when that comes up in 27 seconds, it could look grim for our Monk Sucks. Vellido in the meantime using the AMS to reduce whatever magic damage he can from Dillypoo. The life sweep onto Shwayze's trinket though at 50% HP. Vellido trying to keep the pressure rolling, but he's dipping low. He activates the Icebound Fortitude here. Heals getting pounded out by Adëllah. Gonna activate all those big renewing mists as well as soothing mists. He does get maimed up here. Dillypoo looking to try and land a trap. He's gonna land the full trap here. Adëllah has to trigger that. He gets knocked down below. Hikari going to use the survival instincts to reduce the incoming damage here. He does feel a kill onto Vellido. The Murder of Crows coming out. Shwayze though at the same time in a full shockwave. Power Word Shield comes out into the half DR. 68, 30% HP remaining. The pain suppression going to come out. Pillar of Frost getting blown. Omnivore getting cloned up on his unused trigger here. Shwayze's going to be able to stabilize. His mana starting to hurt though. Throwing out a defensive fear. It's not going to connect onto anyone though. Getting the penance out now at 60%. He does get the Master's Call timed with the Stampeding Roar to try and kite away Adëllah into a full trap. Vellido has the Death Pack to heal himself back up here. He might have to use it at 30% HP. The explosive shots blowing up in Vellido's face right now. Cross CC onto Omnivore. He's going to trinket that. Vellido down to 20%. Shockwave onto Hikari. He trinkets that. Activates the survival instincts. Life Cocoon thrown out onto Vellido now. And asphyxiate onto Shwayze. Omnivore and Vellido trying to put out the pressure, put out the heat. Omnivore into a trap. Does get dispelled. Adëllah is going to cheat torpedo to kite away. Cyclone's coming out. Does get charge stunned. Shwayze at 40% here with not a lot of cooldowns remaining.
Yeah, Shwayze trying to cut away from these melee, but he does have to stay in line of sight because any of his teammates are susceptible to a swap here. Hikari not having the trinket, Dillypoo not having the trinket, but Hikari goes into a shockwave here at 44%. Shwayze at 50%, both of them getting cleaved down a bit. Vellido also taking a bunch of damage, 50% here. Adellah's being trying to keep him up, but the full trap will be coming out very soon. Adëllah has 40 seconds on his shot. He doesn't have his life cocoon up right now. The incarnation comes out for Hikari. This is going to be a lot of damage onto Adëllah. Adëllah does pull away from that, and he tries to, he's staying safe upstairs, but Vellido getting the damage swapped onto him. Adëllah does have to torpedo back towards his DK. The DK taking a bunch of damage at 40%. Shwayze trying to keep his team offensive here. Healing him up. Vanilo does have to AMS and get the life cocoon there. It looks like he's going to be fine for a little bit. But this Hikari taking a lot of damage at 20%. Shwayze into a full sap here. He doesn't have a trinket. This is looking like a lot of trouble for the jungle cleave. 2%, 20%. Hikari taking a bunch of damage here. I think he might go down. Peace, Hikari. And this TSG is here to play. That damage is just
that was
so
a feral druid yo-yo. He got gripped up and then gripped back down. It was literally a yo-yo for Vellido.
All right, our monk sucks. Our monk sucks. They are in it. They're in the semifinals. Shout out to these guys if you aren't familiar with them. Yeah, I'm playing the replay. Yeah, yes, I'm playing the replay. Yo-yo. But just to reiterate, these guys did come all the way from the qualifiers. They had to qualify for this tournament. They weren't invited. And then after they qualified for the tournament, they made their way all the way to the semifinals. So shout out to those guys. But we're not seeing the end of DGD. No, sir. Dillypoo, Shwayze, and Hikari, they're dipping down to that lower bracket, and they will continue to compete there. So this is not the end for Dillypoo, Shwayze, and Hikari. Not even a little bit.
Is there an updated version for the add-on? Because like a lot of the players, like their interfaces are like disappearing. I was only